So I've got some exciting news. I scheduled my MARPE/MSE treatment to start on November 9th, and I got these separators in. And basically they just create a little gap so that they can fit the sleeves of the arms on the device over my molar. And like the day after I got them in, I saw that this ortho office, Dr. Bakow, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, but they started using these special devices where you don't need the separators. And actually that would have been nice, and I'll tell you why. I got these in almost a week ago, and I wanted to create an update maybe the next day, a little video for it. But my exhaustion just rose through the roof. I was so sleepy I wouldn't drive. It was really difficult. I felt that at any moment I can get a full night's rest, obviously not feeling rested. And I think that there's something going on with the separators. The separators, I had these once when I was like a young teen, and it creates like a lot of pressure. It hurts a little bit to eat. It's just a little bit of soreness. Pain-wise and pressure-wise, it's tolerable, but I don't exactly know what the relationship is. It must be kind of like compounding with my headaches and possibly further interfering with my sleep. My friend put it really well. Like, you know, if you're having like compounding causes of headaches, he said it's like getting in a car when you're already nauseous. And that's exactly how I feel about this. I think that perhaps the headaches or the pain maybe lowers my arousal threshold during sleep, or makes me less relaxed during sleep, or maybe it's simply exhausted to have compounded headaches throughout the day. But for whatever reason, it was really bad. And today was the first day where the tension kind of subsided. The pain has subsided mostly, and I feel a lot better. I mean, today is the first day where I felt like I could film this video. So I think that when I get the MARPE and maybe the braces, whatever, I think things are gonna get worse before they get better. And that's okay as long as I'm prepared for that. But I think it's an important thing to discuss, because I think headaches have this kind of elusive behavior, compounding behavior, where, you know, they kind of take a while to accumulate given some cause. Maybe, you know, having your hair too tight in a ponytail, or having a hard pillow, or strains during sleep. It might be okay for a night or two, it might be okay for a few years, but then when you kind of tack certain things on, they start to accumulate in this weird way. And then if you remove some of the causes, it might not help, you know, for a week or something, you know. So I think that headaches are a really difficult thing to track. But for me, and I think I'm guessing for many of you out there, it's probably important to kind of be mindful of this. So as this started to happen, I started to think like, okay, how else can I reduce tension? Well, first, I'm gonna start using my strapless CPAP mask more. These are the Bleep Dream Ports. I use these interchangeably with my Philips Respironics Dreamwear. The Bleep Dream Port is great. It's really great. It is a little bit cumbersome. It is expensive, but I try to switch between these two masks, and it does really help with some of the strain around my head. Another thing is, you know, it took me a long time to find a pillow that's like minimally acceptable. I'm not even sure if I would say that, because side sleeping with my head on the pillow, you know, I'll wake up, you know, throughout the night, and my face will be in a lot of pain just from the pressure. And I think normally as a kid, you know, that would never happen, but, you know, because headaches have this compounding effect, it happens. So I'm now trying to experiment with different like postures of sleeping. You know, like trying to support my head without having my face mushed into the pillow. I wear glasses, and I try to keep them very loose, and I bought these on Amazon, these little cushions. So I think it's really helpful for treatment, you know, at least until things start getting better in the long term. I think it's really helpful to address all the different causes of headaches, because we all have them. We just don't all need to address them. So I talked to my sleep doctor, Dr. Kashani, and he is putting in an order for me to get one more sleep study. My last one was a few years ago, my first and last one. And so this one should be a good benchmark before we start going through all these treatments, so that we can really understand how well these treatments like MARPE and MMA are working. One thing I also brought up to him is, I'm going to be hopefully feeling better after the MSE, but it's still going to be like 2 years until I'm fully recovered anatomically, and then maybe more so after I talked about treating those non-anatomical causes. So I wanted to find out other ways to just help me get by until then, because it's difficult. And I talked to him about BIPAP. I'm going to share some links in the description. I think there's no really clear evidence that BIPAP is good for UARS, but it's something that kind of floats around the comment sections of different UARS communities, and I wanted to try it. So I brought it up to him. He said he would put an order for one if I wanted, but he wanted to bring something to my attention, which was BIPAP, more so than CPAP anyway, has a chance of causing what's called treatment emergent central sleep apnea. And I don't exactly know how it works, but BiPAP or BPAP, for those who don't know, stands for bilevel positive airway pressure. CPAP has the same pressure always. When you inhale and when you exhale, it's the same pressure. BiPAP detects when you're inhaling and detects when you're exhaling, and it lowers the pressure on the exhale to help you exhale. So it helps you inhale by pushing air, and then it pulls that air back out with you as you exhale. And this can be very comfortable. I think this can reduce some sort of feeling of respiratory effort. I think it can make your breathing feel a little easier. And for that and other reasons, I think people have been theorizing that BiPAP is better for UARS, and I'm sure I'm oversimplifying it. However, there's another side of that, which is having this difference in pressure and breathing can cause you to overbreathe. I think it changes the balance of the gaseous exchanges when you breathe, and I think it can lead to hyperventilation or something. I think what it was that it causes you to exhaust too much CO2, which when I first heard that concept, exhaust too much CO2, I was like, what are you talking about? Isn't CO2 a waste component of breathing? And apparently that's not true. And so if you want to learn more about this, I've been reading this book called Breath by James Nestor. A lot of people are talking about it. He's not a doctor or a scientist. I think there are some things that are not very scientific about it, but it's really interesting. It kind of talks about this subject. But regardless, he said that this could kind of complicate how we're viewing this process. So I don't know. I might try it. I might not. If anyone has any thoughts, let me know. So that's it for now. I'll let you guys know how everything else goes.